let's start to the first question. It is, please mention and explain briefly the components of communication process. Well, there are following components of communication process. The first one is context. In communication, of course, context is affected by the context in which it takes place. This context may be physical, social, chronological, or cultural. And every communication process, of course, need the context. And then the next one is sender. Sender is a person who sends the message. And a sender makes use of symbols such as word, visual, and so on to convey the message and produce the required response. And then message. Message is the key idea that the sender wants to communicate with the recipient, and it is a sign that elicits the response of recipients. Communication process begins with the deciding about the message to be conveyed, and of course it must be ensured that the main objective of the message is clear. And then medium. Medium is a means used to exchange or transmit the message. The sender must choose an appropriate medium for transmitting the message. The message might not be conveyed to the desired recipients. And then the choice of appropriate medium of communication is essential for making the message effective and correctly interpreted by the recipient. And of course, this choice of communication medium varies depending upon the features of communication. Recipient or decoder. It is a person for whom the message is intended or targeted, and the degree to which the decoder understands the message is dependent upon various factors such as knowledge of recipients, and then the responsiveness to the message and the reliance of encoder on decoder. And then the last one, it is feedback. Of course, feedback is the main component of communication process as it permits the sender to analyze the efficiency of the message, and it helps the sender in confirming the correct interpretation of message by the number 2. Why do humans need a language? Of course, humans need a language, and I think language is very important for human because language is how people communicate with others. By learning a language, it means we have mastered a complex system of word structure and to effectively communicate with others. And then to all of the people, language comes very naturally, and we can learn how to communicate with others even before we can talk and as we grow older. And then we find ways to manipulate the language to truly convey what we want to say with word, and then with complex sentence and so on. And then of course not all communication is through language, but mastering a language certainly helps speed up the process. And then this is one of the many reasons why human need language and why language is very important for human. Well, number 3, please give your opinion about the period, Dutch period, Japanese period, and independent period of English teaching in Indonesia. And which one do you think the best English teaching period? Well, among the period, I'm going to explain first. In the Dutch area, in the Dutch period, English is required, and then student must study English 3 to 4 hours in a week. And then there are many books or reading texts to improve English language, and also teacher are paid accordingly. But however, only the Dutch and certain indigenous children that can learn English. And while in Japanese period, English was completely banned, prohibited. And then English books were burned, and then the only languages allowed were Japanese and also Indonesia. And if it is in independent period, of course, English is not mandatory, but it is fully supported. Everyone is allowed to study English anytime and anywhere. And then in addition, learning media are also available, although sometimes some people experience a little difficulty when learning English, because English in Indonesia is as a foreign language, not a second language. Because that some people maybe little difficulty when learning in English. And the last one, please explain briefly about the function of English in Indonesia. Well, the current function of English as an international language, it is the first mastery of foreign language is the entrance to enter global community. Second is the means to absorb knowledge that is developing in other countries, and vice versa as a medium for spreading that knowledge developing in Indonesia and also outside. Thank you.